Hi everyone, welcome to episode 36 of the podcast, and I remain your host Tomobi. Today's episode we are going to look at Kenya's national implementation strategy for the AfCFTA that was released some days ago. In episode 34, I mentioned that the AfCFTA Secretariat announced a guided trade initiative. That is, some countries have been selected to start trading under the guidance of the Secretariat, and Kenya is one of those countries. So, following that, Kenya has released its national implementation strategy. That's a 5-year strategy from 2022 to 2027 for the AfCFTA, and so we're going to be looking at. I'll just share some highlights in respect of what's in the strategy. One of the objectives that is stated in the policy brief of the national implementation strategy that was released is that Kenya is going to leverage the AfCFTA to facilitate the expansion of Kenya's trade and investments in Africa. And the goals, the plans, the strategy on how that will be achieved has been laid out as well. So we'll like, for instance, it's some of what Kenya aspires to achieve is one, securing of markets for goods and services within the African region. 2, promoting value addition and diversification of products in those markets by leveraging on intellectual property rights. Then creating conditions for increased participation of MSMEs, women, youths, and persons with disability in trade and investment. I'm very happy, or should I say I'm pleased about the conditions for increased participation for at least it gives everyone the opportunity to take part in trading within Africa. It's not just meant for the big companies only, so you're better off getting yourself also to take advantage of the opportunities available. So before I move on, let me just explain what value addition is for the benefit of those that may not know. It's, for example, Africa is known to majorly export raw materials out. So value addition, let's use cocoa bean for example. Rather than exporting cocoa bean, let's produce cocoa powder or chocolates from it. There's more benefit. There's more economic benefits from producing that. So that's just an example of what value addition is. So Kenya is looking at that as well. Then of course it also aspires to promote safe trade and also promote Kenya as a key investment and trade hub within Africa. So for people that are interested, that would want to trade, that are not Kenyan nationals that would want to trade in Kenya, that's that's for them. We will look at the specific goals now. The specific goals that Kenya intends to achieve is 1, consolidate, diversify, and expand Kenya's export to Africa. Then 2, ensure Kenya's manufacturing sector real value addition increases to 5% per annum. How will this be achieved? Then Kenya is going to start exporting the recently discovered crude oil in Kenya to export to other African countries, and also Kenya is going to leverage on expected significant tariff liberalization on some of its products that it is already exporting to Europe, to the US, and to Asia. These are fresh vegetables, floriculture, coffee, tea, soap, detergents, textiles, and amongst others. Tariff liberalization is basically reduced or eliminated tariffs. So under the rules of origin for trading under the AfCFTA, there are some products that will be subject to preferential treatment under the rules of origin criteria. So if some of these products will be part of it. So that's basically what Kenya is seeking to leverage on. Since we've been exporting this, then we're also going to use this to expand our exports within Africa. If you want to get more information on tariff liberalization for goods, you can listen to my episode on rules of origin. Rules of origin is basically the criteria that will be used to determine if a good or a product will be subject to preferential treatment under the AfCFTA. So that can give you a guide in respect of this. And finally, the last thing I'm going to talk about is just sensitization efforts in respect of creating conditions for increased participation. So it's also laid out the plans on how it intends to sensitize women and youth. The seminars will be conducted targeted at women organizations. There will be B2B, that's business to business, business to government, business to consumer meetings for women entrepreneurs and traders in and out of Kenya. And also for youth, seminars will be organized at educational institutions. There will be social media publicity. So this is where I'm going to stop. This amongst other information stated in the policy document. And as usual, the podcast is for educational purposes only. If you need more information or if you want to get detailed information or expert advice in respect of positioning yourself, please reach out to me on LinkedIn, Omobola Adekola. And until next week Thursday, I say bye-bye.